watch the little nervous twitches. One or two more. Jenkins high and long and straight. Third penalty goal for Neil Jenkins.
Oh, it'd be nothing for him to spend 2 hours kicking the ball on Caivadra Field. Even like 10, 11 years of age. He'd be up there, keep kicking it over.
Any spare moment he had, he would go down there, down to Caivadra Rugby Field in Church Village and just practice. And they would pay dividends. It's hard. When you think about practice on your own, kicking the ball and going chase it, going back and forth, and the hours and hours and hours he spent practicing.
My mother's brothers were a massive help to me, and my Uncle Andrew and Uncle Peter. They just took me as often as they possibly could and just practice. And I never really got into it properly until probably my second season of my senior rugby. That's when I really made a massive effort and put a huge amount of work in that summer. And I think it basically benefited me for a long time to come.
Far Jones, Liner with the drop goal. Has he got it straight through?
I watched loads of videos of Michael Liner and Grant Fox. I just watched to see, basically how they kicked and how they did things, and in terms of breathing, steps, time, over kicking, actually kicking for goal. And I worked at both, but I felt what suited me more at that time was taking similar steps to what Grant Fox done, and taking the time that he used to take over a kick. He used to take a lot longer than Michael Liner, and I felt that was, for me, just setting myself and concentrating and focusing was a lot easier for me. So I know Grant Fox always took 6 steps back and 2 to the left, whereas I take 4 and 2 and a bit. So that little bit is important for me, and always obviously clean the studs as well. So it's something that I do nigh on every single kick that I do, and it's something that you get used to and it just becomes second nature.
Who would you want to kick this in world rugby? That man.
Neil Jenkins, this will lift the roof. Has he stuck it over? And indeed he has.
You see my ball tilts forward, whereas Michael Liner's was pretty upright. I tried the upright, didn't feel I was sort of consistent enough to what I wanted to be, of kicking a high ratio. So I tried it forward, and I felt the ball flies a lot straighter through the air. I think it's important, if you are a kicker, to not chop and change. I think once you chop and change, it probably messes your head up in a sense. So I think once you get that routine and you're happy with it, it doesn't work overnight, but you've really got to stick with it. And I think that's what basically I did. I was happy with the tilting the ball forward, using the sand, taking 4 steps back, 2 to the left, trying to use your left shoulder to keep over the ball, keep square. And you don't want to be rotating that because you pull a lot of kicks and things like that. So it's just a lot of different things that obviously help to being a top class goal kicker. I just found the easiest thing for me to imagine was just being on my training pitch in Caivadra, where there's no one there, no one at all. It's just you, your balls, your pitch and your goalpost at the end of the day. I just find that if I ever think to myself, right, there's 80,000 people here, there's millions on TV, I would probably just collapse in a heap. I think, oh my God, what's going on here? So I just find it much more easier to think, look, there's no one here. You're on a training pitch. More often than not, you kick everything on a training pitch. And that's why I pretty much imagine I am doing.
Looks good. No problem. Jenkins then. Almost a middle chip kick for him. Upward side for Neil Jenkins, of course, the right footer. Jenkins trying to steer it through. Yes, that's more right. The east stand will give you an idea. Superb strike.
My tips for kicking, for youngsters anyway, I think in a sense that, for the older guys, I think it's just purely hard work. I think that if you can find a rhythm and a routine and a technique that suits yourself, I think that's vitally important. But putting the hard work in and enjoying it at the end of the day. I think that's the main key. Head down, follow through. There's so many little tips and so many little things that you can work on, but purely enjoyment. I think that's the main thing. And for the younger kids, I think they should just go out and enjoy themselves, like these youngsters here, just kicking about, having a good time. And I think as they get older, they realise then maybe the more work they put in, probably the better they'll get.
You join us here live as Neil Jenkins prepares for another great evening of television with a top-of-the-range TV he's bought from Just Rentals. He steadies himself. Just look how focused he is on that Just Rental slot meter. His preparation, as ever, has been perfect. The television's been delivered and installed free of charge. And you can see the pound coin is ready. Now, can he slot it in and guarantee a great night of home entertainment? It looks long enough, straight enough, it's made it. Jenkins has done it again with Just Rentals. What an easy way to buy a television.
He has won or kept Wales in so many games that you can't start to to add them up, and because his kicking was so good, they could hang on in there. If they were in the opposition half, they had a penalty, invariably he would knock it over. And I think I've seen some great kickers. Grant Fox was one of the best. Then I've seen Liner, Johnny Wilkinson,
Dominguez, Gavin Hastings.
I've never ever seen a better goal kicker than Neil Jenkins.
He kicked in sides that weren't successful, so maybe if you've been playing for let's say a present English side, like Johnny Wilkinson's getting 6 chances at conversions. Neil perhaps was only having 1 or 2 conversions because we weren't successful. So I think, the way he conducted himself each time, the same routine, the same concentration, head down, follow through, magnificent technique, and he's rescued Wales on so many occasions that I think under those circumstances I would rate him as the greatest goal kicker of all time.
Makes no mistake, Neil Jenkins, number 1, 913 points in his international career, beats the world record held by Michael Liner.
Looking at yourself and achieving that record in front of your own fans, in a World Cup, well, there's no more you can say. I was stuck on 911, I'd equalled it, and I was stuck on it for that, and it was just, everything was all, this world record, this world, all week. And it was just turning up inside me. I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, can't wait for the game to come. The game come, and I couldn't kick a thing early doors. I missed the first 2 or 3 or something. I was like a cabbage. I was going everywhere. I was thinking, and I think something happened. We had a penalty try or something under the post on it.
Penalty try awarded.
That was the only reason. If it had been anywhere else, I weren't going to kick it. I'm obviously pleased to break a world record. Any records of that magnitude is fantastic, and I was so chuffed. But once I got out, it was a bit of a relief. I think, great, let's move on now.
Now Neil Jenkins, second successful kick for him, and Neil Jenkins has done it. He's reached his 1,000 points, the first player in the history of the rugby union game to score 1,000 points in Test match rugby, and the crowd are rising to him. The Welsh support know of his achievement. What a moment for Neil Jenkins, the 29-year-old. Just listen to this.
Records are there to be broken, as I said. If I'd have been stuck on 960 or 970, it's just it is not just, but it's a world record. But actually being the first player to score 1,000 international Test points in the history of the game for over 100 odd years that's the one that really comes to mind, and that's something that I am, absolutely hugely proud of. Because at the end of the day, no one can take that away from me. It's just 1,000 points, Neil Jenkins.
When he got that 1,000 points, it was, I've achieved, I've shown all my doubters. I've proved that every hour, every day that I've trained has been worth it, because I've got that, and he so deserves it.
I always look back and do think about one or two of these people that criticised me over the past. I'm extremely happy with what I've achieved. I'm sure if they'd achieved that in their game, they'd have been more than happy.
Great moment for Neil Jenkins, the first player to reach 1,000 points in Test matches, and that was the kick that did it.